Okay, yeah, the light should sort itself out. There we go, great. So if you can come onto your yoga space, whether that be some carpet, a mat, wherever you'd like to be, just get yourself comfortable. Today's session is going to be a bit slower and kinder, a bit more thought into the poses. We will still move seamlessly from pose to pose, but we just won't be rushing through, and it's not kind of a flow practice. So let's get ourselves transitioned into the practice. Comfortable seated position, find your sitting bones if you are on your bottoms. Roll your shoulders up to your ears, down your back. Let's just do that a couple more times. You might get some crunching like I do. And then that just highlights to you how tense you might be. Drop one shoulder. So I'm not raising the other one, I'm just really consciously dropping one shoulder down away from your ear. Bring it back to the level and the opposite shoulder. Draw that shoulder down. Really hug that elbow into your waist. And then draw both shoulders back as if you're trying to get your shoulder blades to meet on the back of your back. Lovely. So let's just hold our hands loosely somewhere. If your legs are out straight, you can have them in front. You can have them on the mat beside you. I just really like to have arms up so we're not holding anything, we're not creating any tension, just really heavy arms there. I invite you to join me and close your eyes. Close your mouth. Gently part the jaw so your teeth are not clenched. And then tune into your breath. See if you can take an in-breath in for the count of 4. Hold it at the top. And then see if you can breathe out for 5. Hold with empty lungs. Breathe in for 4. Hold. Out for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In for 4. Hold. Out for 5. Hold. In for 4, keep going with your breath. Counting 4 in and 5 out. Just taking this time to ease into your practice, setting your intention in terms of you're here, you've logged on. So that's the first goal. And if you want to just take this time to sit and watch the practice today, be my guest, with a view that you can come back to it later. Or you can join me in working through these poses, these asanas, but I would really like for you to listen to each and every cue. Pay attention to the minor details in your body. And as I ask you the question, check in with your own body that the pose is being done to its maximum benefit. And this first breathing exercise is so vital to transition from the hustle and bustle of what you've been doing to draw your attention to what we're going to do for the next 40 minutes or so. So it's worth taking that time to transition in rather than just going straight into our sun salutations. So let's gently open the eyes. Bring both shoulders up to your ears, down your back. And much like an animal would, let's just begin some opening stretches. Bring the arms outside your body, bring your palms up to the ceiling. Palms together, draw those arms up as if, you know, that kind of genie in a bottle, Christina Aguilera kind of style dance, but then draw those fingertips up to the sky so you're really squeezing your biceps into your ears. And then exhale, the palms come down to your head, release those arms back down to the mat. And we'll go again, second time, lift those arms up, stretch up. The palms meet above your head, draw them even higher as you squeeze those biceps into your ears, contracting those arms, stretching all the way up from your torso, and exhale, release those arms down slowly to the mat. Let's grow longer, let's stretch them again, bring those palms up above your head, palms together, genie in a bottle. Raise those fingers up to the ceiling, squeeze, 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 shoulder blades rise, and then exhale, allow those arms to come down. Rotate those shoulders again, one way and the other way. Lovely. Let's slide that left hand away from you, plant that right sitting bone down. The tendency is to kind of lift off here, but really ground down in the right sitting bone. The left arm comes away from you, draw that right arm up to the ceiling. Again, bring that palm up, the fingers up, stretch up high, so you can really feel that deep stretch on the right side of your obliques. Exhale, bring that right hand down, slide it away. This time, ground that left sitting bone down to the mat, raise the left arm high, fingertips up, and then when you think you're at your highest, stretch even higher and exhale down. Lovely. Let's repeat on the right side. Lift that right arm up, stretch it up. This time, curl that right shoulder over to the left knee. Take your gaze down to that left hand, taking the stretch into the back and the shoulder. Plant that right hand down so it's framing with your left hand. Sweep both hands in front of you, drawing a rainbow round as you come to the right. That right hand's down, lift the left hand up to the ceiling. Left shoulder curves over towards the right knee. See what we did there? Just a little different transition. Bring that left palm down and let's redraw that rainbow, that arch all the way in front of you, back over to the left. Lifting that right arm up and then draw that shoulder back. Look back at your right elbow, open up your rib cage, peel back. Lovely. Close that hand back down to the mat. Draw that last arch rainbow over to the right. That left arm comes up, this time bending in the elbow. Bring that elbow back behind you. Open that chest. Look behind you. Lovely. And release. Bring that left hand down. Let's switch on to our all fours. So spread those fingers wide. Think about where you're putting the weight in your hands. Your wrists should be on that really chunky, fleshy bit, that pad underneath your thumb. Slightly grip the mat. Your wrists are below your shoulders. Separate your knees. And then think about your spine here. Maybe just put your hand in your mid-back to make sure it's straight and strong. Draw that tummy button up. And then watching the shoulders, we're going to slump, it's got a C now, slump our chest down towards our thumbs. My shoulders are high. Then super slowly push into those hands as you begin arching the back. Push the mat away from you. Such a small movement, but so good for all these smaller shoulder muscles. So as we exhale, we're slumping our chest down. My arms remain straight. And then inhale, inflating the chest, pushing the mat away from you. Push, 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 push. One more. Exhale. lowering down, shoulders high. Inhale, push, 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 as if we're inflating a balloon underneath us that we don't want our belly to touch. And exhale, coming back to center. Curve that right shoulder to the right hip. Look over your right hip. Inhale, center. Exhale, curve that left shoulder over to that left hip. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And back to center. Tuck the toes here. So we're just beginning to stretch into the soles of the feet. And with your breath coming into your more fluid cat-cows. But don't rush them. So I really, really, for me, love a posterior tilt. So I stay here because it feels so good. And as you exhale, arch that back, look between your legs. I think in children's yoga, you call these happy cats and angry cats. So this would be your happy cat. With that arch, and your angry cat really arching their back. You've shown it some water, perhaps flick some water at it, push the mat away. Lovely, and then bring your bottom back to your heels, walk those hands back. Rotate those wrists, get that blood flowing. Lovely. Coming back to all fours, but we're widening our hands here and taking them a little bit further away from us. Unhook your toes, widen your knees, your big toes together, and bring your bottom towards your heels super slowly. Forearms come down to the mat. Your chin can come down to the mat, or perhaps your forehead. And just gently rock side to side here. Just working into those hip joints. And let's get into those arms. So create that cage with your fingertips. Maybe walk those fingers a little bit further away and bring your chest down, but keep the arms off the mat. You should feel that stretch right into your arms, underneath your arms, into your back, as well as your hips. Inhale, coming up. Let's walk those hands over to the right. Slide them away, either palms down, or you can come on, still remain on your fingertips, drawing yourself down. And then walk to center, over to the left, and down. Lovely. Coming to center. Bring those hands back narrow, spreading those fingers wide, coming back onto your knees. Narrow your knees so they're underneath your hips. Step your right foot back long. Bring that heel towards the back of the mat. Join it with the left. So we're in our plank. And in your plank, tuck that tailbone under so you're engaging those lower abs. Breathe here. Breathe. Push off from the toes so you rock forward a little bit. And then send those hips high. Your heels come backwards into your first downward dog. Hello. Oh, that feels so good on your legs. So just walk out those feet. Step them out slowly. Check in. Where are you feeling this today? Are you feeling it in your calves? Your hamstrings? Your bum? Is your abs working hard to keep you here? Think about your shoulders, so tuck those elbows in. Try and turn the eye of your elbow up to the ceiling, which will help wrap your shoulder blades to where they should be. Inhale, come back forward to that plank. Exhale, high into your downward dog. This time, come onto your tiptoes and rotate your heels over to the left. So we're just working the outside of our waist. Keep your shoulders facing the mat. Try not to lift up on that right shoulder. Inhale onto your toes. Now you guessed it, let's come over to the right. Drawing that left shoulder down. Breathe. Lovely. Inhale, coming back to those tiptoes. And then however you like, I'm going to crisscross today. Walk those feet up towards the front of your mat. Do whatever funky walk you'd like to do. When you get there or thereabouts, feet hip distance apart, bend those knees so you can rest your tummies on your thighs. Your head's heavy. Take your elbows, hang here. Breathe. Quite like to close my eyes here to challenge that balance. So really grip the mat with your toes. And then just shift the weight side to side onto one foot, lengthening one leg. And then the other, bending the opposite leg. So we're just swaying gently. Bring those hands down to the mat. Prepare, so ground the feet down, grip the mat. Slightly bend the knees, bring your hands underneath your knees on your shins, look forward, shoulders back into your tabletop back, your flat back. And exhale, fold. Let's go again. Inhale, hands to shins, look forward, shoulders back. Breathe. Exhale down. This time I want you to bend your left knee deeply. Deep, deep, deep. Your left hand is directly in front of your left foot. Imagine you are drawing back a, let's say bow and arrow. So with your right hand, really draw that across your chest, touching your left shoulder to your right shoulder, opening up. Your gaze goes with your hand, looking up at your right thumb. Your right leg is as straight as is comfortable for you. Your left is bent deeply. Exhale that right hand down. Bend both knees. Let's go on the left side. So bend that right knee deeply to touch the right arm. Left hand is drawing that bow and arrow back, touching that right shoulder, touching your left shoulder, opening up on the left side. Look up at that left thumb. Straighten that left leg as much as is comfortable for you. Breathe. Exhale down. Come onto fingertips here, tuck the tailbone, super slowly stack that vertebrae one by one. Your head, shoulders are heavy. Roll those shoulders at the top. Lovely. Anyone feel like they're working harder when we slow it down? And you're really thinking about what muscles you're using, what you're doing, rather than throwing yourselves in. Let's bring those feet together. Tuck that tailbone under, belly button to spine. Shoulder blades together. With your feet, let's rise up. Our hands come up out in front of us, rising up, drawing your line on the wall as you raise your fingertips up. Your tiptoes come up. Your heels come up, so you're on tiptoes. And then exhale, draw a line with your fingers down the wall as your heels lower down as well. Do that again. So inhale, take those fingertips in front of you, draw a line on the wall as you rise up onto your tippy toes. Now, squeeze your legs together, squeeze your knees together. Your bum is squeezing to keep you there. Keep your heels off as you bend the knees, hands come out to the sides. We're folding down into our forward fold. Keep those heels high. Breathe. As your hands come to the mat, your belly is on your thighs, you can bring your heels down. Step your right foot way back. Really far back, get comfy. Let's open up on the left side. So again, let's draw that bow and arrow, drawing up to the ceiling, our left fingertips tickling the ceiling. Lovely, breathing here. Trying to stack those shoulders on top of each other, draw that left hip back. Your right heel is trying to make contact with the mat. Exhale, bring that left hand back. Just bring those right foot in a little bit so we can really ground down with that left foot. Then bring that right knee down. Bring your hands by your hips. And then inhale, draw your body up, draw your hands up as if you're holding a box up above your head. So some cues here. It's up to you whether you have your toes tucked or untucked, but tuck your tailbone under. Tuck it under so much that you can feel a deep, intense stretch on your right hip flexor. Draw those shoulder blades down, trying to touch each other. And then challenge yourself with your gaze. Super slowly, turn your gaze up to your thumbs. Gripping the mat with your left toes. As you exhale, your gaze comes down. Your hands come down. Super strong here. Hands to your waist, press into that left heel, raise that right knee off. Lovely, so in a high lunge, let's repeat with our arms, send those fingertips down to the mat. Draw that arc with your fingertips forwards, up to the ceiling. Your gaze is still forwards first of all, that left knee is above your left ankle. Tuck that tailbone under. If you need to bend your right knee here to get that stretch here on your hip flexor, much better than trying to have a straight leg and bending in the lower back. Option to bring your gaze up as well. Our warrior one. And then let's turn to the right hand side, lower those arms down, pivot on the ball of your right foot, coming down to your warrior two. Arms parallel to the mat, shift the weight to the outside of that right foot. Lengthening that shin, that left knee is still above that left ankle, and we haven't got kind of scarecrow arms here. Send the energy away from you. Fingertips trying to touch the walls either side of you. Tuck that tailbone under, breathe. Lengthening that left leg. Right hand comes down, resting on the right thigh. Lift that left hand. And draw your left hand up to the ceiling as you slide that right hand down. Take your gaze to your middle finger on the left. So our really reclined triangle pose. Breathing there. And then inhale. Bring your body back up. Keep your legs where they are. Your arms are parallel. Send your left hand away from you, palms facing me, and then rotate on the hips, sending your right hand high, your left fingertips just tickle that left leg. Stack the shoulders, look up at that right thumb, bring that core in, that belly button in, breathe. Very easy to hold your breath here and go, oh, come on, Amy, say, come out the pose quick. Breathe, it will keep you there longer. Inhale, rotate those arms back up to parallel. Bend that left knee again. Bring your left elbow to your left knee. Draw the line on your right hand underneath you this time. So an upside down rainbow comes over by your ear. And at the beginning, we talked about squeezing the bicep into our ear. We're doing that here. Our right bicep is bringing it into the ear, but look under that bicep, look up at the ceiling. Stack those shoulders. Breathe. Lovely. Lift that left arm off. Turn your body to frame that left foot. Fingertips come down to the mat. Come onto your right tippy toes. Slide that left foot back to your plank. Lean forwards on the toes. Raise the hips high. Downward dog. Walk out those feet. Lovely. Look up at your hands. Again, just walk whichever way you'd like to up to your hands. This time I'm going really high tiptoes, keeping my legs straight, keeping my bottom high. Bring your feet together at the top. Bend your knees. Send your fingertips behind you. And then with a little bit of momentum, as you bend your knees, sink your hips. Bring your hands up and forwards. Bringing yourself up to stand. Exhale those hands down by your sides. So I'm just going to come to this end so you can see better what poses we're coming into. We're going to repeat that little sequence before we come down to the mat. So bring those toes together. Bring the balls of the feet together, the heels together, the ankles together. Zip up those legs. Tuck that tailbone under, belly button in. Let's bring those hands above our heads. Squeeze the palms together. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale. Bring those hands back down. I forgot we're doing tiptoes then. Seamless. You wouldn't even know. Bring those hands above your head again. And then as you inhale, come on to tippy toes. Come as high as you can. Keep your tiptoes there, your heels high, as you squeeze your knees together, squeeze your bottom, draw your thumbs down your chest, bringing your tummies onto your thighs, bringing your hands down to the mat. And this time we're stepping the left foot back, way back. Lovely. Bring that left knee down. Either keep the toes tucked or untucked. And this time we're raising that right arm high to the ceiling. Look up at your thumb. Bring that right hip back. Stack those shoulders. Wiggle your fingers so you're sending that energy up and out. Breathe. And then exhale, bringing those hands back down. Bring the fingertips either side of your hips, sending your fingertips back behind you. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Then as we push into our right heel, tucking that tailbone under, bring that imaginary box above your head. Tucking your bum under so you can feel that deep stretch on the left hip flexor. And as an additional option is changing your gaze super slowly up to those thumbs. Breathe. Grip the mat with those right toes. And then exhale, bringing those hands down. Hands to your hips. Pressing into that right heel, lifting that left knee off, maybe stepping it in a touch. Making sure that right knee is above your right ankle. Tuck that tailbone under. If you need to bend the left knee like me, if you've got super tight hamstring and hip flexors, then I'd much rather a straight spine than dumping in the back to get that straight leg. So we're here, let's take that imaginary box up again. Super slowly. Think about what you're doing. Options, take the gaze. Notice how it can feel. You have to work so much harder when you execute these poses so much slower. And then let's open up those arms, pivot on that back foot, lower the arms into your warrior two, bend that right knee above the right ankle, tuck your tailbone under. This time shift the weight to the outside of that left ankle. Look over that right middle finger, squeezing those shoulder blades together and down. Breathe. Then let's lengthen in that right leg. Bring that left hand to slide down your thigh as you open your right palm, drawing it up towards the ceiling for a reclined triangle. Lovely. One more breath here. Inhale, coming back up. Bring your right hand away from you, lean over that right leg as you tickle your right leg with those right fingertips, left fingertips up to the ceiling. Take your gaze with you, stack those shoulders for our triangle. Feel free to bend that right knee a touch so we're not pushing into the back. And then let's bend that right knee. Right elbow comes to rest on the right knee. Let's draw those left fingertips down. And then bring that left arm over by your left ear, squeezing that bicep in. So you should be a super straight line from that middle finger all the way down to your ankle on the left. Imagine if I was to put a toy car on the back of your left palm. Would it slide down this slope all the way to your ankle? Breathe. And let's bring that left hand down, framing that foot. Pivot on that back foot. Super slowly, let's slide that right foot back to your plank. Lean forwards on your tiptoes. Before bringing your hips high into your downward dog, walk out those feet. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So just changing things up here a little bit. Bring your fingers, your palm, sorry, in a little bit. And you might want to bend your knees here for easy access, but super slowly. Let's do one at a time. So bring your right elbow down to the mat, followed by the left. And then bring your shoulders above your elbows. So it's like our Sphinx pose that we would do, but we've still got down dog legs, either with bent knees or straight. And this is our dolphin pose, and it's really, really good to strengthen the shoulders. So just holding here, grip the mat with your fingers. Breathing, wrap those shoulders under you. Lovely. And then super slowly bring those knees down to the mat as slow as you can. Unhook those toes and let's just give our shoulders a moment to recover. Bring your hands by your feet, palms facing up in your relaxed child's pose. Turning your head to the side, let those shoulders go. Breathe. Just beginning to wind down, taking the strength away from the practice and our more relaxed poses. Slide those hands forwards, coming onto all fours. Bring that right knee forwards to your right wrist and then slide the shin to a diagonal. Slide that left leg back so we're coming into our pigeon pose. Walk your hands back so you can bring those shoulder blades together, opening up that chest, that really proud pigeon if there was such a thing. Think of a pigeon that's just stolen a big bag of chips. Feeling proud of itself, puffing out its chest. And then walk those hands forward so you can come onto your forearms and just gently rock side to side. Option to close the eyes. So much of my practice, when I'm not on camera, my own practice, is with my eyes closed, because I really find you can really tell which parts of your body are suffering or benefiting so much more easily with your eyes closed. Okay, let's turn that right forearm to the shorter end of your mat. Then open up on the left side. This can be an intention, so you can tend your fingers to the left foot. You might be able to bend the left knee and tickle the sole of your foot. If you're getting cramp in your hamstring when you do that, tuck your toes and lengthen to even it out. If you're fine and you're with me, see if you can grab hold of the arch of your foot and just gently draw that foot in so we're stretching our left quad. Also the left hip flexor. Breathing there. And slowly release. Don't let that foot ping away from you. Lower it gently. Bring both hands to the mat. Slide that right foot underneath your right hip. Slide that right knee back. And you guessed it, let's slide that left knee forward. Turn the shin to a diagonal. Slide that right foot back. Walk the hands back onto your fingertips so you can squeeze those shoulder blades together for that proud pigeon. Lowering those hips down as much as you can. And then bring your forearms down to the mat, gently rocking side to side. Nice. Walk those hands back. So keep the left hand down this time. Look back at your right foot. And bring your fingertips back. Lift that right foot up. See if you can tickle the sole of the foot. Maybe see if you can walk those fingertips around the arch to the top of the foot. And draw that foot in. This is where you realize you really need a pedicure. You haven't looked at your feet for about 6 months since it was last worn. And then slowly release, not allowing that foot to ping down. Bring both hands back. Lift your weight off your heel, send that left heel back, slide it back to meet the last. Coming into our final downward dog, so coming into that plank first, lean forward, raise those hips high. Breathing there for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bring those knees back down to the mat. Cross the ankles. Bring your bottom towards your feet as you walk your hands down, meeting me in your comfortable seated position. Or perhaps, let's go for it. Let's go for a really considered slow transition into our Shavasana, our corpse pose. So bring those legs out in front of you. A bend in the knee is fine. Let your feet kind of fall out a little bit wider than hip distance. Arms come out in front of you, zombie style. Contract the core, and as you exhale, begin lowering that spine down to the mat. Don't rush this, don't fall down. Your heels begin to slide towards you as you're reclining back. When you think you're almost there and your core is shaking, stay there. Hold it there. You can, just for a little bit more. And then slowly continue that roll down. Breathe. Until your head touches the mat. When you're there, lift up. By pushing into your head, lift up your shoulders, tuck them underneath you. Rock your hips side to side. Bring your palms down either side of your hips. Let everything go. In fact, do you know what we're going to do? It's my favorite way to end. I do a lot of my own practices like this. Bring your feet together. Scrunch up your toes. Squeeze your ankles in together. Squeeze your knees. Squeeze your bottom. Squeeze your fists into your sides as tight as you can. Bring your shoulders to your ears. Scrunch up your face as tight as you can. Grit your teeth. Scrunch everything tighter, 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 tighter. And release. Release everything. Oh, doesn't that feel good? It feels so good. I'm going to make you do it one more time. So this time going from your face. Scrunch up your face. Grit your teeth. Squeeze your shoulders to your ears, make fists with your hands, squeeze them to your waist, squeeze your bum, squeeze it tighter, 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 tighter. Squeeze your legs together, squeeze your ankles, scrunch up your toes, hold everything as much as you can, and release everything. Let your body sink. Let it relax. Let it be here for maybe the count of 10. I need to come out the sun. Thank you very much for practicing with me. I hope you really enjoyed slowing everything down. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.